Hey everybody, it is your work day, Tuesday, April 28th. It's not my dad's birthday anymore, so you get to work. I wanted to show you the next thing for harmonic motion and a little backup, okay? First of all, in AP Physics 1, that's the class key that you joined, and you were able to access the lab and collect data, right? And then you made graphs, etc. It's my understanding that it's not letting you re-enter while you're taking data. So what I wanted to do is create a backup. In the updates section of Schoology, I gave you the class key, and you should be able to re-enter. So if you didn't get the full credit for exploring, if you just explored mass, but you need to explore spring constant, and you need to explore spring initial displacement to see if it impacts the period, right? That's a lot of lab. You missed 2/3 of the lab. You should be able to get back. If you can't get back into the AP Physics 1 spring oscillators, you should be able to go into the AP Physics 1 backup. And if we need another backup, I can call it backup number 2 if you still need access. But reach out and contact me, okay? So this week, right, we're going to do what I call an investigation related to pendulums. And so when we get into this, let's see if it's going to open up. Oh, please open it up. Nope. What? Let me go back. I'm going to go into my library and I will go find it. So pendulum. Where's a copy of pendulum investigation? Now I don't want a lab write-up, okay? I don't want a lab write-up, but I do want to know the relationship between period and what you could change. So let's look at what we can change. If we've got a pendulum, and I'll just press play, right, and they give it to you. We could change, and let me get this playing. And action. I don't know why it's in slow-mo. I really don't know why it's in slow-mo. Is the time gonna go in slow-mo? Yes, the time is in slow-mo also. I don't know why the time covers it, but so the time's in slow-mo and this frame's in slow-mo. And so they have things where you can change the mass, right? I can change the mass of the plumb bob is what they call it, pendulum bob. You can change the length of the pendulum bob, and you can change the release angle of the pendulum bob. Now you can measure the release angle right here, okay? And what I want is just a relationship. Is there a square root in this again? I don't know. Well, I do know, but I'm not going to tell you. Is it directly proportional? Is it inversely proportional? So essentially, if the pendulum mass gets heavier, right, is the period going to speed up or slow down, right? If the length gets longer, is the period going to speed up or slow down? And if I do it from a larger angle, is that period going to speed up or slow down? So those are the investigations. Ultimately, I want statements, but you might have to look at the data, and in the first shot, you can either see if it's linear, if it's inverse, if it's inverse in a square root. But I don't need the printout. I don't need you to submit all the data, which I think you might be a fan of. I just need you to summarize the relationship. I don't need the slope of the linearized data and an equation, okay? I don't need that. All I want is a proportionality statement. Period is fishy, right? Is it directly proportional to the square root? Is it 1 over a square root? Is it just 1 over the mass? Is it 1 over the length? Is it 1 over the angle? Is it the angle squared? Is it the length squared? What are my other ones? Inverse, square root, squared, linear? I feel like there's more, and I'm missing out on it right now. But that's all I want, okay? So what I'm going to create is a discussion board, and you can write it out, right? Period is proportional to the blah, 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 okay? Period is inversely proportional to the blah, 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 okay? So those are the things I want you. Or there is it appears something is constant, right? It doesn't change. It has no impact. That's a better statement. Has no impact on the period, okay? Or minimal impact on the period, right? Because it's experiment, we've got some error in there. So essentially that is the pivot activity, the investigation of pendulums, okay? That is all.